Hey there, Canopy Growth traders and investors. It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Friday. Happy Friday, November 7th. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to review Canopy Growth's Q2 2026 earnings. And they did remove the going concern, so that was huge. And we'll go over the analyst estimates. They had a mixed bag, so they missed in revenue estimates and they beat on EPS. But like I said, the news of the day was the going concern, improving their balance sheet and debt position overall. It was a pretty decent report, and things starting to trend in the right direction. There was some news with regards to international and supply chain issues, but we'll discuss all of that and more, and we'll take a look at the price chart toward the end. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on that, what to expect in the days, weeks, months ahead. But full disclosure, I do own Canopy. It's a small position in my portfolio, and this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live, and you can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And I was in contact with the Canopy Growth team. Hopefully I'll be able to line up an interview at some point next week, so stay tuned for the details on that. And before we get to the rest of the video, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is BTCC. We're seeing a lot of companies start to add crypto to their balance sheet. Even MJ companies are starting to do it now, that they're adding it to their balance sheet as a treasury asset, and you can actually trade tokenized stocks on BTCC as well. So this is a great chance for you to start sharpening your trading skills. There's even copy trading, which we're on there as well, so you can copy POW Group's trades and you can get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit. But yeah, you can see there's a whole ton of benefits here. You can trade tokenized FX, stocks, and commodities, and no KYC required. So links for this will be in the description, in the comment section. Like I said, it helps support the channel, and you'll get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit over $500. So yesterday, I mentioned that in this video here, you can see the revenue estimates was 71.39 million and negative 0.17 for EPS. So in terms of EPS, we had a much less loss, a narrower loss than we expected. So we were expecting negative, like I said, 17 for EPS, 0.17. It came in at negative 0.01. So huge beat there. And I mentioned as well in this video that typically seasonality, we see the revenue drop off in November reporting period. And that's exactly what happened. Revenue dropped off. We missed estimates. Like I said, we were expecting 71.39, came in at 66.68 million Canadian. And we finished the day up a little over 7%. So again, the whole sector, in my opinion, is just falling by the wayside for the moment because crypto is continuing to steal the show today. Also, the S&P 500 was weak again to start the day, but there's talks that the government shutdown may be coming to an end as early as next week. So we'll keep an eye out for that, but we'll take a look at the chart here in just a moment. So you can see here, Canopy Growth reports second quarter 2026 financial results. Company continues strengthening its financial performance and improves adjusted EBITDA. And that's what their focus is. They mentioned on the conference call as well that they're really focused on positive adjusted EBITDA as their next milestone. They didn't really say too much toward debt. They said, you know what, we're controlling what we can control, and we started to right size the ship, so to speak. But their main focus is positive adjusted EBITDA. Also, disciplined cost management and a stronger balance sheet. So if we scroll down here, they had 298 million in cash and cash equivalents, and here it is here, which exceeds debt balances by 70 million at September 30th, 2025. And they said they have no near-term debt until I think it was September 2027. As a result, conditions that previously raised substantial doubt concerning the company's ability to continue as a going concern have been resolved. And we've been seeing this from a lot of licensed producers in Canada lately, where going concerns have been removed, right? The auditor flags it, saying that their ability to continue due to, financial stress, high debt loads, etc. The ability to continue as a going concern, the financial aspect seems to be resolved. So that's looking good. That was probably the best news that came out of it. But yeah, they talked about how the Canadian budget 2025 is really starting to focus on the medical aspect, especially for like veterans. So there's going to be some news there. What else? They talked about Canadian adult use. So yeah, they're all in one vape. I also had some notes here, so I'll just read some of my notes. But yeah, I'll save a lot of the questions that I have for the interview and just kind of expand on this. But yeah, they talked about international wasn't great. So international markets net revenue was $5 million, representing a decrease of 39% compared to Q2 fiscal 2025. The decrease was primarily attributed to supply chain challenges in Europe. So they did express that they were not happy about that, but they're meeting like frequently to a lot more frequently about that to get it going. Stores and Bickle as well. They had the new product launch VZ, and that had the full quarter there. Consolidated gross margin was 33%, but overall, not a bad report. So, like I said, really starting to turn the ship around. It looks like. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, they said their Claiborne Infused was really driving sales, and their new all-in-one vape as well. And that's something that we've been seeing a lot lately from the producers. I've seen a lot of people even in the US start to have those all-in-one vapes. So I mentioned yesterday that we had the descending triangle target. We hit that target perfectly, but then we had another bear flag forming, and we've since negated that with the move here today. But a little bit of a mixed bag here, still pretty rocky. And again, I've been saying for a while now that it's the crypto, blockchain, and AI show right now, and big tech. I still think that MJ's falling by the wayside. We have the government shutdown. Rescheduling is imminent, but I think that crypto legislation is the final piece of the puzzle. They're looking at the Clarity Act at some point over the next couple of months. The goal is that they want to get that done by the end of the year. And then once that's done, there'll be nothing left to legislate in terms of crypto. And then I think they're going to pivot over to MJ policy. And then, we got the midterms coming up next year. So I think they're really going to want to do a follow through with regards to promises made, promises kept. They're probably going to want to get safe banking done. We've already heard that as well. And then who knows, maybe leading into the next elections in the US, not the midterms, but the actual elections, who knows, maybe we get an attempt to deschedule like Chris Christie said. And I'm going to be actually interviewing Anthony Martinelli, the founder of the MJ Herald, for a second time over the next week or two as well. So we'll get some insight into what he believes. He's publishing hundreds of articles and all over this. So we'll see what he thinks in terms of reform and what we can expect in terms of timelines and just overall expectations for the sector here going forward. But really excited to hear from him. We did have a bearish triple thunder crossover, which isn't great. We lost the 10-week moving average. Stochastic and MACD flip bearish as well. So not looking too hot. Still below all of our weekly moving averages. And we had a golden cross into a death cross. So got everybody excited. And then we had a death cross today. I actually got that alert on the PAL algo alerts today. So still a lot of work to do. They didn't mention anything about the reverse split to my knowledge, but that'll be one of my questions as well for Luc Mongeau, the CEO of Canopy Growth, whenever I do interview them. Is that something that they're still planning to do? I mean, they have 12 months before they have to go back and get shareholder approval again. So it was approved, and if they don't enact it within the first 12 months, they have to go back to investors and get approval again. So I still think there's a lot of work to do here, though, but overall, closed the day up 7%. Most of the names were up around 6-7%. I think that had to do mainly with the recovery in the S&P 500 into the end of the day, because, like I said, a lot of optimism that we could see the end of the government shutdown as soon as next week. So keep an eye out on that. And like I said, looking forward. Hopefully, I'll have some more details next week about when that interview is going to be. Don't worry, I'll give you lots of heads up. And if you have any questions, please let me know as well, and let me know what you thought of this earnings report. If you're on the conference call, what was your biggest takeaway? Always love hearing from you, and we'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. It's Rod with PAL Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great weekend.